Hello and welcome to my first art day video. Yes, that was a question mark in my voice. I'm not quite sure if that's the name I'm going to call it. It may be, we'll see. I've been playing with the art dates, creativity dates, jam sessions, I don't know. They're not necessarily all going to be painting videos. I just like creating different things. So it might be a painting one time. I might make magnets another time. I might dig out the dreaded Fimo or polymer clay. See how it goes. But for today, I'm going to be working in my Moleskine journal. Moleskine. Not quite sure how we pronounce that, but I'm sure someone will let me know. It actually hasn't got very much in it. Few little bits and pieces. So I bought this when I was doing some mixed media classes, and I love working in mixed media. I don't do it as often as I used to anymore. For me, mixed media is doing a bit of art journaling, like here, sticking down some papers, drawing a picture, smushing paint, that kind of thing. It's one that hasn't been finished. I might finish it one time. Yeah, so just different techniques and styles and that kind of thing. I will have a list of everything that I use in this video for you to download if you would like, if you are playing along at home, or if you're just sitting here watching it like I do Bob Ross. Welcome, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm not quite sure how we'll get going. My idiot neighbours have decided to today is the day that they're going to rip down the fence and rebuild it. And I also saw them trimming a tree in their front yard with a ladder, a chainsaw, and a pair of tracksuit pants and trainers. So safety obviously is the number one concern that my neighbours have. Do you know that so totally off tangent, that song my husband sings it all the time, dumb ways to die. So that's been floating through my head while I watch them chop down limbs off a tree. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because we may hear chainsaws or grinding or all kinds of things in this video, and if it gets too much, then I might just do a voiceover and yeah. So right, today I am wanting to do a bit of a journaling piece. The full moon was last night. I'm exhausted. It was huge and beautiful, and there's a lot of energy flying around, and I want to invite in some of that energy, but also want to release some of the things that I've kind of realized that I'm holding on to still, and I want to let them go. So I'm going to do a bit of journaling, and I'm going to do maybe some smushing, maybe some painting, and we'll take it from there. And I will comment a little bit maybe, but you know, I might just play some music for you to see, play, listen to. And also, if you have any questions about a technique that I'm using or what I'm doing or that kind of stuff, if you just let me know in the comments or send me an email. Anyway, so first of all, I'm just going to start journaling. And so I'm just going to do a free form of journaling, which means I'm just going to scribble down words, and it's going to be legible. It's not going to be neat and tidy. It's free form, so I'm just literally writing what I'm thinking, but I am going to be writing about sort of letting things go. So I am just going to write that first, and then I'm just going to go from there. So Okay. So basically, yeah, you can't even really tell what I've written, which is fine. But at the end there, I've gone, I am releasing all negative energies that no longer serve me. And I'm inviting in all the abundance and joy that the universe is sending my way. Now, I don't want that. I'm going to now basically cover that up because I'm releasing and now I'm building on top of that. So I'm releasing any fear, any negative thoughts, any worries. What I'm using at the moment is just some gesso. I'm not even sure that this is how one would normally use gesso. You would use gesso to prep a canvas or a page. It gives like a little bit of tooth, I think is the correct term. If you don't know my history or my background, I am a self-taught artist, so I have never actually done any formal, oh, that's not true. I have done some formal training, but like last year I did drawing class, but I haven't gone to study art at school or anything like that. I am just sort of making it up as I go along, learning new techniques, trying new things, playing, exploring, etc. And sometimes I feel like I am behind the 8 ball sometimes with things, but other times I like that I don't know what the rules are, so I can just make them up, which is kind of cool. Rightio, I just need to let that dry for a little bit before we move on. Oh, but actually, while that is still wet, I might put a little bit of colour in that. So, I have these paints, and I don't know, they're chalk paints. So I guess for furniture or wood things from Kmart. And I've only used that recently in a painting, and I loved it. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drip a little bit. Oh, here we go. It's my neighbours again. So I'm going to have a wet paintbrush. So it's going to sort of, ooh, it's pretty, I like that. Just sort of scribble that around. You can use your fingers if you want. So I think, so gesso is kind of chalky, the chalky texture, and this is a chalk paint, so it's almost like it's a match made in heaven. And the reason I use a moleskin, moleskin, I don't know. I should look that up on YouTube. Sketchbook is, oh, I like that too, is because the pages are heavy, so they can take a lot of water and a lot of the sort of heaviness that my mixed media can throw at it and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think I quite like that. Now there's also a bit pink. I don't think I want to use as much of that. It's kind of a cool pink. I've only just started liking pink. Well, admitting that I like pink maybe is the right thing to say. One time I thought pink was, I don't know, the enemy. Right, yeah, I'm just gonna paintbrush. Maybe I'll use my fingers. So I don't want to use a lot of it. Not really sure how this will turn out, but I think so when I'm sort of doing this kind of stuff, I'm not really thinking about where I'm putting it, but I will tend to do the corners and the sides. Yeah, I think maybe a little bit more there. I like when I'm using my fingers that it kind of blends in these really sort of dreamy colours together, and I really like it. Okay, wow, came out chalk paint. Not bad. Maybe just see how it works with when I work on top of it with acrylics, and whether that's the thing. So you may not like kind of see fingerprints in it, and you may not like that. The other thing you can use to smoosh is like an old credit card, bank card. Gives you a different sort of feel to it, which I quite like too. Okay, stop. Stop. I think that's my problem. My problem is that I don't stop. Okay, right, I'm going to let that dry for now. Yeah, so while I was waiting for that that to dry, I went through one of my boxes of papers, and in here I've got stickers and card, serviettes, scraps of wrapping paper, quotes, I've got stickers, papers, more papers, lots of papers, quotes, book. Cute. Obviously that meant something at one point. Yeah, tickets, things for my travels. This is from I travel through Europe. So, no, it's not just Europe stuff. It's Fiji, cotton and green. Oh, cool. Little stickers, little tickets, memorabilia. I have a real problem throwing things out. So instead of throwing things out, I use them in my artwork, and I quite like little tickets and that kind of stuff. That's cool. So bus ticket, train ticket. So yeah, stickers, papers. Got these feathers that I made one day. Oh, that would be a fun project to make. Again, handwriting from when I was a teenager. But anyway, back to the story. Back to the point of this. I found these quotes I really like. So there's Stars Don't Shine Without the Darkness, and this one, amazing things are going to happen. I think this is quite fitting for today's session. Oh, of course. Dumb ways to die. That's my neighbours. Okay, so amazing things are going to happen. So that's what I'm going to include in my thing. I'm just going to sticky bit. Yep. It's so dumb. Okay. But because I work in a residential street and a lot of my neighbours are retired, this is going to happen a lot nowadays. Okay, amazing things are going to happen. 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 Like that bloody chainsaw is going to break and they won't be able to do it for the rest of the day. Anyway, amazing things are going to happen. Right now, I'm going to do a little girl. Because that's what I like to paint. I'm actually just going to do a really simple one. I'm not going to go into too much detail with her. Normally, hopefully, God. So just to give you a quick, and maybe I'll do that one of these lessons, I'll do a proper full-on face. So this is one of my basic ones. I have done just recently an oracle card painting. Oh, an oracle painting that faces a bit more realistic-ish, stylized still, but a bit more realistic. Bear says that this is her #1 favourite at the moment. So face is not going to be like that so much. A little bit more simple, a little bit more stylized than that. Okay, so the way I do a face, I draw an oval. Draw an oval, and then I draw a line in the middle. In the middle, depending on whether or not my face is going to be looking straight ahead, and this one she will. And then between these two lines, I draw another line, and then another little line, and then I draw like eyes. Slightly above that is where her eyebrows are going to go. And I don't always do this, but today I'm going to just draw 2 lines in there for where I'm going to do the eyes. Jeez. Ear sort of starts around here. You don't have to draw ears either. You don't have to do anything. You can do however you want to. Her neck. And just the shoulders. Okay. Now, I'm not sure, but I may actually want her hair just to sort of go up. Let's just play with that. All right. So nose. First of all, I just do a circle like this. For her lips, I do a little here, a little divot. And then like a love. It's almost like a love heart, actually. I'm going to do it this way. There's several ways you can do lips, but I'm just going to do a love heart. And then just draw out. Now, the mouth kind of comes out. If you think that this is where the eyebrow might be, those eyebrows are a bit too high. You can always change it. So if that's her eyebrow, and that's her eyebrow there. Then I sort of go in a line out from here. So that's where the creases of her lips will go to. If you go straight down, I kind of generally, of course, this is where I put her nostrils. And then little nostril flare bits, and then the nostrils, and then I may even change that a bit. Okay, so this is her lips. So there we go. Every now and then I just sort of have to hold it up because they are a bit crooked. That's better. Okay, now ears again, just a little shell. And her eyes are going to be closed. Actually, don't think I want them like that. I want them. lid's come up. And this will use it for darker, shadowy spot. I'm not sure if I'm going to put shadows in just yet. And then just going to define her face a little bit more after I've put in the lips and stuff. Sometimes I need to I feel like that needs to come down, make adjustments. So don't be afraid to, paint will cover this up, so don't be afraid if you are playing along at home to just to erase out marks. Okay, doesn't have to come down a lot, just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to put her in like a high necked thing. It's quite like that sort of Victorian feel. So this will have little ruffles. I think at this stage I need to come down a bit more. This will all work out in the end. So just ruffles. Okay, so the hair, this looks like a very big forehead, but it's not actually the full forehead. So the forehead is hairline, so it starts in between. So this would be the top of her head. So the hairline starts somewhere around the middle of the that space between the top and her eyes. I think I want to come down quite so far. I'm literally just drawing it to be the same thing. There we go. Actually, I don't mind so much if in my mixed media, like my journal pages, if the marks from the drawing sort of show through. In fact, sometimes I quite enjoy it. Okay, so maybe you just have a big bun, or no, I don't actually think she's a lady with big hair. Oh, maybe she's a lady with a side bun. Maybe not that big. Amazing things are going to happen. Okay. Right, also I think I'm going to do some flowers. also did see in here butterfly paper, so maybe I'll do some butterflies as well. Okay, kind of have an idea. I guess the flowers sort of represent the spring, the change of the seasons. If I put that, I think I want to put that on before I start painting things, so I'm just going to trim it up. I think I'm just going to stick it here on the bottom. And then if I paint over it a little bit, then that's fine too. Okay, now you can use any glue that you like, but I cannot be bothered digging out my Mod Podge, so I'm just going to use the glue stick. And the best art supplies are the ones that you don't have to spend any money on. There we go. Amazing things are going to happen. Such a good quote to find today. Yeah, so often I just write down little quotes and they end up in my little box of papers. Okay, so I'm going to paint her face first. I'm just gonna give her some more little bits of hair because I want to. Okay, so I'm using a combination of paints, so acrylics. So there's the Jo Sonja's paints. I will use some Kaiser colours. I have fallen absolutely in love with these Liquitex acrylics and then acrylic gouache, I think gouache. What else? Oh, I also use Reeves paints. So for the face, I'm going to use a combination. I'm just going to keep it simple, I think, of white paint and a little bit of unbleached titanium. And my favourite pink has fallen down the back here, so let me just get it. Oh, that one fell off without its lid. That's okay. So this is another Liquitex pink. That's my favourite at the moment. Put that in there. And I'm going to use a bit of skin tone base. animals, they said. There we go. That is the backstay. Okay, so just going to sure I've got an eraser stuff on them. Right, I'm going to start with my white. And with my white, I'm just going to go over everything. And I actually don't mind if I go up into the hair line, although I'm covering up her eyebrows and eyes. And I actually don't mind that I'm going to cover up this quote a bit. Kind of want it to not fade into the background, but just to become part of the painting. So when you look at the final painting, it won't be like a thing that sort of sticks out. You'll find it eventually. Maybe I might cover it up. Who knows how this painting goes. We'll see. Yeah. Radio. So now I've got my unbleached titanium. So I'm just going over. I'm not going to go over quite so much into areas where this colour is not going to belong. So I'm not going to cover in her eyebrows as much as possible. That is. And when I'm doing like painting faces, I don't really, because they're stylized, they're not realistic. So I don't really have much of a, you know, using different, what am I trying to say? Because I'm not painting realistic faces, I am not being precise when it comes to shading. I have a general idea in my head that the light source is coming from a direction and I may shade accordingly, but I'm not really focusing too much on the nuances of a face, in that, you know, her cheekbone should be one way, and that there's, you know, if you think about makeup tutorials, and you have the contour, and then you have the blush, and then you have the you know, the concealer and all that kind of stuff. I don't really tend to stick to that kind of stuff, but in saying that, I do some shadows and some colour. So if I am thinking that the light source is coming from to the front, that means the bridge of her nose, the top of her nose will be a bit lighter, so I'll put some more white on that. And her forehead will be a bit lighter. Around her sort of nose and eye area will be a bit darker. So I'm just going to put a bit of the skin tone there and then go over her eyelids with that. Same with the other side. The ears will be darker just because they're back, or even tops of the ears might be a bit lighter, so I'll just do the sort of the interior. Not really an interior, but okay. The base of her nose will be darker. And underneath her nose will be darker too. So I'm just blending as I paint, not necessarily washing my brush in between. Colours. I don't mind that I have some of the previous colour on there. Okay, so her hairline will have some sort of shadow around it. I also kind of like that the under colours are sort of peeking through a little bit too. Okay, so now I'm going to get my pink, and I'm just going to do little rosy cheeks and just blend them in. You don't want a huge amount of paint on your brush when you're doing your cheeks. You sort of want them to be a bit dry, so you can get it to sort of not dominate that space, I guess. Sort of creeping into areas where I don't want it. So then I'll go back in with maybe some white and some skin tone or some unbleach. And see, I don't mind so much if that pink sort of carries through in the other tones. Okay, put a bit more. So I put a little bit of pink on her nose, because I just do that. I can't tell you why I do that. I just do it. Right else, okay. So a bit more skin tone on her eyes. Make the lids a little bit darker. And so highlights, there'll be a bit of a highlight under her brow. Be a bit of a highlight on her chin. Maybe some white in that one. It's a bit hard to judge the wet paint and the light at the minute. A bit more on her. Yeah. So you can see by sort of not brushing my, not cleaning my brush between adding paints, I'm getting a nice sort of cohesiveness to her face. It's not all just one colour dabbed here and there. It's sort of a blend of colours. So like there's a bit of pink in her forehead, there's, you know, a bit of white here and a bit of brown there, and I quite like that. Okay, so just put more darker tone there. Okay. And now usually if I was going to do a face with a thing, I would have done the neck as well, but there's not really a neck and a per se in this, so. But I do want And again, I'm not really being all that careful, although I'm going to be careful on this side. Okay. Okay, so next I am going to wait. I'm going to let her face dry for a bit, so I'm going to work on her ruffles. That needs a bit more skin colour there. Okay. Actually, before I go, I'm going to get this paint out again. And I'm just going to put a little bit of it over here. There. Okay. Okay, I need another layer or two on this one here just to cover up the pencil a bit. Righto. Eyebrows. So I'm going to, what colour are we going to do her hair? That might be a conversation for a bit later. Hair colour. I kind of want to use what I've got, but you know, I don't want to waste a heap of paint. This is burnt sienna. I don't want this one. This is like a reddy brown. I'm actually after burnt umber. Okay. So many brown colours. There we go. So burnt umber. That's one is burnt sienna and burnt umber, and then there's a raw umber floating around as well. So, burnt umber. So this is what I use for the darkest of her shadows, and if I'm feeling, I'll use it, or I've got Tombos that I sometimes use too. So I'm just going to get a smaller paintbrush. One with, I don't know if you can see, finer point. And I'm going to make sure my brush is really wet. And actually I don't mind if this gets watered down, because I think if you don't water it down, it is very dark. So this is it, not watered down too much, which I don't mind because I'm doing the eyebrows. So I kind of want her to have a peaceful-ish feel to her. So I'm just going to draw her eyebrows on sort of straight. Neutral, I guess they'll be resting on her face. Sometimes our entire painting can change just with the painting of the eyebrows. You're like, oh, she was really fierce, and then when you finish it and you're like, oh no, she looks really sad. I'm kind of going for a zen feel, because this girl, she's released all negative energies, all her fears and all her worries, and amazing things are going to happen. So I always listen to music or a podcast or an audiobook when I'm painting, but because I listen to SBS Jill normally, and that music is copyrighted, there'll be parts of my audio that is silenced, which doesn't work for me. This one. So while I am painting, and I have music that is not copyrighted, can be used by YouTube, I actually have just music in earphones. So I apologize if I do tend to zone out a bit. It's just me getting into flow. And actually, this is really interesting, painting and talking to you as if I was painting a class, doing class, well, which in a sense this is. Right, so that's where her eyes are going. Because it does tend to take me out of my flow state. But it's just something, I'm sure I'll get used to it. Okay, and nostrils. Now, noses are a weird thing. Like, people don't like drawing them. For years, I avoided them, kind of like hands. But the more I wanted to do faces, even stylized faces that looked a little bit more realistic, I realized that I'd have to pay attention to their noses a bit more. So I just sort of do it like this. They've changed over the years, my noses. Okay. So now I've sort of got the basic marks in. Now I'm going to go back and really wet my brush and get this water, this burnt umber, watered down a bit more. And then I'm going to come back and do some more defined shadows. So you can see the difference with it being watered down and not watered down. I like it watered down. It's not quite as black, and or dark, I should say, because it's not. I'm not going for an sort of a black shadowy look. I just want a sort of a general shadow. And I will come in probably with a marker pen and do the outlines because I can't help myself. But I'm coming in with this paint just to give it, because it's layers, it's all layers. See, that's not enough water on that one. So, but the best thing about acrylic is that you can come in with a wet brush and you can sort of smooth it out a bit. In fact, if you get it, you can sometimes just give it a bit of a scrub and scrub it right off the page. But that's okay because we're doing this sort of outline, and this will be, I was going to come back in anyway and do a darker tint here because this being dark shadows. As we're down here. I keep going to put this in my watercolors. Can't tell you how many times that's happened, painting and accidentally putting my paintbrush to wash in a glass that has tea or coffee or wine, water. Okay. Just going to put a little shadow under her eyelid or around her eyelid. Okay, and then, oh, I keep going, I'm going to need to move that. I'm going to put water in it in a second. I'm going to put some shadows around the bottom of her nose and under her nose. I'm going to go back and get some unbleached titanium and just put a little light up there. Okay, cool. Liking it. Okay, lips. Oh, I just noticed it's just a little bit there that I haven't filled in. So lips. Normally I would use a pink, reddy pinky, dark reddy pinky colour. So this colour, Rose Madder. But because I've got quite a bit of pink here and it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to do her lips pink. So there too, so I might have to make her lips a bit bigger just to cover up that white bit. So I'm going to just carefully draw the line out. I don't want her lips to go all the way out. As in, I don't want just want a little line. Okay, now I am going to use some of this rose madder. So, just coming in over the top. It's wet, so I'll blend on the page. Now the top lip is generally darker than the bottom lip. And although I liked that pink, it was just very pastel. So I do this a lot. I tend to mix the paint on the page rather than on the palette, mainly because I don't like wasting paint. And this way you can do it with just little bits of paint. And but it does make it difficult if I'm going to finish a painting halfway through something, and then I have to come back and then try and match that colour. So it does get a bit frustrating at times, but little projects like this, it won't matter. Okay, so they're almost the same colour, so I'm going to come back in with this, and I'm kind of going to do up and down strokes on this coat, because I want to sort of give the impression of, you know, there's lip creases that you kind of get, lines. And because this bottom lip generally is lighter, I'm going to come in with a bit of white. That might be too much white. So come back in with my pink. It's all a bit of a matte, just trying to get it to where you like it, and then you can stop. A bit more of the darker colour. Okay, where are we at? And this, actually, I like that. So now I'm going to get a very skinny paintbrush. I think these are actually originally nail brushes. So if I for painting nails, but they make great paintbrushes. So I'm just going to come in with this light pink, and I'm just going to do sort of little lines. And then I'm going to get some of the darker. It's not as smooth, I guess, as I normally would do, but I don't mind with this one. I'm going to put a few little lines on the bottom lip. And I'm going to get a bit of white. Oh, here we go again. Don't waste your time. I don't think it would have mattered what day I chose to record this. My neighbours would have found a day that would suit that would be the day that they do a project. And it's not just these neighbours, it's other neighbours as well. They're all DIY projects or getting their houses repainted or whatever. Okay. Okay, I'm going to get some of this brown. And I'm going to get sort of the wet part of it where I've put water in with it. And then I'm just going to do very carefully. Oh, look, now it's the cat who's joining in too. Her lips. There we go. Hello, Luna. Yes, Luna. I'm not going to outline them. She says that she does. What, Loons? Let's do a bit more detail on this. Okay, and then I'm just going to get a little bit of white paint to highlight there and to highlight the top of her lip. Hey, stop that. Yes, Luna. Cool. Now, I am going to get my other paintbrush and I'm just going to put a line across her nose. Like that. That's just a little highlight. And that should fade a bit as it dries. But we'll see. It might be too dark. Okay, need to go back and recover her. Go over her ruffles again. Luna! Oh my god, this cat is obsessed with this tiny little spider that I've got on my windowsill and wants to push down all my plants. Get down. Just to get at this tiny little spider. I'm talking a spider the size of that dot. It's tiny. And she's been chasing this spider for 3 days now. And causing chaos in the studio. Luna! Oh my god, she's like, as soon as I get up, she's down. Loons. Right, out. And this is why you get banned from the studio. Out. All right, she'll be back. I can guarantee. Give it 5-10 minutes. It's like she thinks I forget. I probably do. I'm a dumb human. Stupid human. But you will normally find Luna in my studio in the afternoons because there's beautiful sunshine that streams through. Okay. Radio hair. It's time. It's time to make a decision. I think I might do like a brownie black. Brownie black hair. So I'm not going to think too much about this. I'm just going to do it. So I've got my brown, my dark brown, and I've got my black. I've got my random cat hairs and dog hairs. Okay. Because it is a journal page, I'm just going to keep it simple. Simples. Now, so I've got my black and I've got my brown, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to literally put my brush into both, so maybe mix it a little bit, and then do the hair. Normally if I was doing black hair, I might do highlights of maybe blue, definitely brown, some browns in there. I might like maybe do some pink highlights. White tends to make it look grey, which sometimes I like too. Just all depends. Cool. Ready. Let's do this part. No bun. Try not to cut her ear off. And I just need a little okay. So now I just need a little bit more black. So I need to do her eyelashes and just little fine strands of hair. So I'm going to use my skinny brush again. Okay, eyelashes. So I just want to make sure all my brush is wet, but then I make sure I don't have any water on the end there, because the last thing I want is a droplet of water come down onto the paintbrush and splodge. See, there's still water. Paint and water all over the painting. So, and I start in the middle and I go out this way. To make it. So I watched an artist, can't think of her name. She used to do these beautiful big-eyed sort of doll-like paintings, and they all had these super massive like mass amount of eyelashes. Anyway, she said the secret to doing eyelashes was to have a damp brush and lots of paint on your brush, and she's not wrong. So I'm going to start on the middle of this eye. I might need to go back, I think. Oh, pick the award on that. Oh my god, how many trees do they need to chop down? This is when I wish And I don't often wish it because I like living in town. But this is when I wish I lived on a property. So I didn't have to listen to this every day. Or something like this. If it's not this, it's someone mowing lawns. Someone's house is getting painted. It's just a very busy street. Okay, so I'll just be careful I don't put my hand in the wet paint. And now I'm going to just go the other way. And these lashes I don't do it quite as long, as many. But I'm going to add in sort of an extra layer. I'm going to go back and do it here. Otherwise, I always remember, I don't know where I was staring up at something and there was it's like I was at the dentist or something like that. And randomly they had this painting of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And on the roof. Like, it was so random. Like, even if you were a kid looking at Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs painting poster on the roof, that's not going to stop you from freaking out at the dentist, is it? I mean, like, if anything, it's going to give you more nightmares. And every time you go in, every time Snow White plays on the TV, you're going to end up having some kind of traumatic response to seeing it. Anyway, I can't remember. I really can't remember where it was. I even feel like it could have been at a gynecologist. I don't know. But I remember laying there on my back, staring up at this poster going, what the hell? Why have we got a poster of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs on the thing? But then I looked at Snow White and I went, she's got literally 3 or 4 eyelashes. That's it. That's all she's got, 3 or 4 eyelashes. So ever since then, I've been very careful when I paint my girls that they don't necessarily just have 3 or 4 eyelashes. They got more. Even when I used to do less eyelashes, I always had more than 4. It became a thing. I mean, literally, who put Snow White and a picture of the 7 dwarfs of Snow White on the roof? Maybe it was a joke. I never asked because whatever was happening on at the time didn't allow me to. Okay. But if you've ever seen Snow White and the 7 dwarfs poster on the roof of somewhere, please let me know. Maybe you were at the same place I was. Okay, no, I haven't finished quite that with that. I need to do not only the eyelashes, but some hair. Some little fine strags of hair. Okay. Right, less is more when it comes to these things. Stop. Okay. Okay, dog. So, let's move this out the road a bit. So flowers and stuff. I'm going to use papers today. Some leaves. What have I got? These make. Maybe I could use that for her. That'd be quite cool. I've got like actual daffodils. These I can maybe make some leaves out of. The little stories from my girls. That would make good leaves. Now I've got some music. Maybe not zigzags. I think I sort of want to go with muted tones. All right, I think that's probably enough. Anything else would be okay. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 flowers that I want to do, and I'm really just going to do rough flowers. So do one on here. So if we just move that up. Yeah, so no, don't like that flower. Right. This is I can't even see where I did it. I think I just want more of a circular shape rather than a flowery shape. I don't think I've achieved that at all. Oh no, that's not looking too bad. But I just want to check that it's too big. Okay, so I think I want them a bit bigger than that. About that size. Okay. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Okay. So I'll go around that, and then I'll just do little, it won't be a perfect circle. Yeah, okay, like that. Okay, and I will keep that bit because I might use it again. I might, that's the problem. I might use them again one day. So I keep everything. That's going to be for her thing. Okay, I don't want, do I want any of the red on there? No, I don't think I do with this one. Right now, next one. I like this. Does it feel like it's big? No, it's not. It's fine. Right. And I think I'm going to use anything flower on it with LilliBean. That's what I got in here. But that's pretty obvious too. Yeah, that'd be quite cool. Okay. It's from my Japanese exchange student when I was about 15, 16. She just had the most beautiful handwriting. Let's see, inside or outside? I like the inside better. I literally, like, so this, like, 16-year-old me hanging on to an envelope because my exchange student's handwriting was just so beautiful. Okay, done. Next, I want to oh, you're back, Luna. Yes, I can feel you. Luna. No, I'm going to put that one there. I don't care if it's too symmetric or not. I just want to just play with it. Okay, so that's the layout. Next, I'm going to need a little thing in the middle. I need a little thing. Oh, I might use that. Okay, so something that size would be perfect. Luna. God, between the bloody the cat and the chainsaw out. I told you, leave the spider alone. Perfecto. I'm not caring too much that they're round. I don't mind that they're not all that round. Just thought I'd felt the cat again. Should do this in the middle of the night. It would be so quiet then. It'd be really lovely actually. Okay, I'm gonna get my glue back. And I'm also going to put these distress inks from the Ranger line. I think I just bought these from Spotlight. Anyway, these are just little distress inks and they're all sort of a darker darker colors, so they like sort of, this is a, what's this one, vintage photo I think it's called. Oh, didn't really want to do that, but anyway, do I care? I don't know that I do care. No, I think it'd be okay. I think that's too dark for what I want to use. There's a walnut stain which I've used before. I like it. This is a linen, I think, distressed linen. So what it is? Antique linen. So there's 4 little mini inks, and because I don't do a lot of inking, that's better. I don't do a lot of inking. Generally, I don't need big ink pads, but you can get these in big sizes too. So all I'm doing is I'm just going around the edges of this to give it a bit of a distressed look, I guess. And I think that one does irritate me. Oh, there's nothing on the back. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. And for the bigger ones, I'm going to use the walnut stain. I just like the effect it gives. It's almost like an outline without getting your pen and outlining it. I want to keep these sort of videos to a small time, not a huge long time. I want to try and keep them to maybe an hour, maybe two. So this is a Uniball pen. These are great. Once they're dry, they're completely waterproof, and I love using them, and I use them a lot. So I'm just going to draw in the lines for the. Is that going to go in the front or the back? For my flowers. And now I'm going to glue them in. Now, the distress ink is not waterproof. So be warned that if you do get glue on them or water, it will spread. But again, with this kind of project, it doesn't really, so you can see it's stained it there, doesn't really matter too much because it all sort of adds to it. Okay. She's back. As she walks past, she likes to give the desk a good old, I don't know. This is my space, but it's not. Luna, if you go off that spider, you will be leaving the room. Luna. God. Cats are great. Shouldn't say that. I do love my cat. She irritates me though. She has a habit of coming to the studio because it's like she doesn't realise there's water anywhere else in the house, and then she comes in and now she's chasing lizards on the windowsill. Out! Come on. You're going to cause chaos. Go chase the lizards downstairs. No. Out. Out. She's not happy with me. Yeah, so she comes in and I might have a cup of water and she'll get her paw into the water and she will drink off the paw and will literally knock over paint. Paint water even. She does use paint water. Okay, I'm going to make some leaves, so I'm not going to bother drawing these. I'm just going to cut them out. Where were those little bits that I had? There. I tend to keep all these little scraps. I really don't need to. I just do because I might need them one day. I might need them one day. Right, I think I've made all these leaves far too big. I've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm at okay, am I going to I don't think I'm going to outline these ones. I think I'm going to use my pen to do it. So I'm just going to glue these down. And I don't really care that I'm sort of sticking them over things. I sort of want it all to be integrated. Where are you? Maybe there, cover up those little marks. Do I need more? Right, while I wait for them to sort of glue down, I'm just going to, there maybe. That'd probably be the first time that's ever happened to me. Usually I cut it too small. Okay, put that over there like that. Okay. Nearly done. Okay, so I'm going to get another marker. One a bit fat. Maybe I'll use my Sharpie. These are great. These are Sharpie pens. A bit smaller than the Sharpies. I'll use that one. Okay, I'm also going to get my Posca pens to do some little extra details. And I don't want. There's another pink there. Use those pinks. And I'm also going to get my gold. My gold Signio pen, and I've got a white one as well somewhere. My white one. Okay, so they're for highlights. And one last thing, I'm also going to get my brown Tombow. These are not waterproof. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to go around these a couple of times. I don't want anything to look too, actually, am I going to do, I'm going to do stems, proper stems. So I'm going to get my green Posca. That looks like it's about to run out. So I'm just going to go around, even though I went around them with my ink. I think I've decided I just want to do little, oh, I don't know. Little decorative bits on them. Again, I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm not going to do a different one for each one, although you could. And the reason I'm doing a background around it is because I'm going to use my Posca pen to decorate it. I'm just using my... Now, I'm not too careful about the lines here. I don't really care if they're straight or not. I think that adds a nice sort of texture to the leaves, to the stems even. Makes them not quite so perfect. What's that? Scissors is what happens when the desk gets messy. All right, now I'm going to go in and just draw a bit of a pattern on the leaves. You could actually do some Zen doodling. That would be cool. Maybe I'll do some of that too for you during a video. My Sharpie's about to die. Maybe it's because the paper's still a bit wet from the glue. There you go. Okay, now I'm not going to use my Sharpie for this next part. I'm going to use a Staedtler pigment liner. Excuse my pronunciation. Okay, and I'm just going to outline her face. And her ear. I think I'm going to give her a cuff. Maybe long earring there. I'm going to go over gold over that. Right, yeah. So the reason I got this was to do this. Just to give my ruffles some texture, is what I was going to say. I wish I didn't do it. Maybe. There are no mistakes. No mistakes in art. Just different design choices. Anyway, get my gold pen. There we go. Just use this pen to go around. So make it look like it's maybe supposed to be there. Oop. So make that into like a sort of a material grease. Sort of do that there on the other side. Done. I think I'm done. Oh no, I'm not done. I am not done, she said. Alright, I'm just going to use this pen just to colour in her eyebrows a little bit more. They're looking a bit patchy. So this is a Posca pen. This is water, not waterproof. This is water soluble, water based even. So nice thing about these is you can actually use them as like paints. Okay, I'm just going to use it to go in and do a bit of a shadow, a bit more of a shadow. There. Maybe a bit of a shadow under here. That's probably a bit too heavy-handed, but I think I'm done. I have that song, can't think of who it's by. It's a song in the 90s, 80s, 90s. Something good is going to happen. It's just popped into my head. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a little bit of last journaling. And this is just a little bit of journaling that I should have examples of it. Just like a little bit of this journaling, just to reinforce the feeling behind the page. So we started off with releasing negative energies, releasing fears and limiting beliefs, sort of things that were holding me back. And then we're inviting in abundance, and then I found that quote saying amazing things are going to happen. So I think I just might even just write this really messily in the corner. I'm just not sure. You could even like write an affirmation word somewhere if you wanted to. Let's see, where do I want to write this? Maybe I'll start down here. I'm just going to say, I'm just going to really write this, but over each other. Quite like that. Maybe I'll do it up here. I'll do it. I like when you write like that no one actually sees what you're writing. So you can write anything. You can write that you're irritated with someone. You can write your biggest wish, your greatest fear. Things going and they just look like a scribble. But you know when you look at this page what it meant. Let's go over that one again. Done. There you go. This is not where I was going when I first opened this page, but that's the fun thing about doing art journaling and mixed media projects, paintings, pages, is that you end up being very surprised where it takes you. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my first art day, creative play date, whatever this series will be known as from now on. Don't be surprised if it gets a name change somewhere along the line. Thank you for joining me. I have really enjoyed this time, despite the cat chasing the spider and the neighbours trying to kill themselves chopping down trees. I really hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know what you liked, what you want to know more about. I'm really excited to start this project. It's been a goal of mine for pre-pandemic, so 3 to 4 years now, of wanting to do paintings, tutorials, online stuff. Exciting news is that I've just got some space in town where I may be able to hold actual in-person classes in the future, which is very, very exciting, and can't wait to explore that a little bit more. But for now, amazing things are going to happen. They're going to happen to me, and they're going to happen to you. So I'll see you in the next video.